friends. Very recently, the Supreme Court of India, while deciding the case of IMRAN PRATAPGARHI, said that the effect of words cannot be judged on the basis of the standards of people who have a sense of insecurity or those who always pursue criticism as a threat to their power or position. And even if a large number of persons dislike their views expressed by another, the right of person to express the views must be respected and protected. No doubt that disagreeable or hostile words certainly would vitiate the atmosphere, but the solution to fact commentators inside jails is not worthy. The Supreme Court of India has a better prescription, that is, it is nothing but counter views with views. What is the prescription of the Supreme Court of India on the freedom of speech and expression is this. The Supreme Court emphasized that this right is essential to democracy and intellectual progress and individual autonomy. It reiterated that citizens must be able to voice their opinions even if unpopular or disagreeable, as long as they do not incite violence or disrupt public order. This is the settled legal position. While settled legal position of the highest court of the land is clear and loud, the High Court of Calcutta questioned PANOLI. Look, we have freedom of speech, but doesn't mean you will go to hurt others. To KAMALA HASSAN, who opined that Kannada is an offshoot of Tamil, the Karnataka High Court said, you may be KAMALA HASSAN or anybody, you cannot hurt the sentiments of the masses. These were the two questions posed to the opponents, that is the petitioners, in the case of PANOLI and KAMALA HASSAN in the courts of Calcutta and in the court of Karnataka, in expressing their viewpoints and different views. But the Times of India editorial today has answered to the questions posed by both the High Court of Karnataka and also the Calcutta High Court. Effectively, both courts have said, take care your words, don't hurt others. If this sets a precedent, all conversation, discussion, debate in this country will need to be convivial, that is, to be friendly. Speakers, writers, artists will need to err on the side of caution, not to annoy their audience. Even then, the sword of causing hurt will hang over their heads. The safest thing would be to shut up. Freedom of speech and expression is a hard-earned modern right. Italian philosopher Bruno was burnt alive for propagating the idea of an infinite universe, which offended the church. Galileo lived his last years under house arrest for holding the view that earth revolves around the sun. One person's conviction is another person's heresy, that is contradictory view. That is why making others' sentiments, opinions and feelings the test of good or bad speech is the surest way to destroy free speech. What is the message of this editorial is that the Supreme Court of India has guaranteed the freedom of speech and expression as enshrined in the Indian Constitution as per Article 19 of the Constitution. But in the lower courts, that is High Courts of Karnataka and this Calcutta have made a different connotation on the freedom of speech and expression. It would hurt the sentiment of the masses or others, unless otherwise making any religious causing sentiments of conflicts in between two communities or two different languages. Definitely it would not be allowed. But giving an opinion on a particular subject by a person shall be allowed in democracy, unless or otherwise the individual rights on freedom of speech and expression is guaranteed. There is no guarantee for democracy in this country. Even Rajaram Mohan Roy was the sole credit for the abolition of sati. It would have uttered the feelings of lakhs and lakhs of Hindus faith that sati system should be continued by, but the efforts taken and the reformations taken by Rajaram Mohan Roy in abolition of sati was a great thing, and it uttered the feelings of lakhs and lakhs of faiths who are having faith in Hinduism. But it gave progress for the progress and development for the Hindu society to come forward to the progressive front in the interest of larger interest of progressive movement and progressive thoughts and transformative ideas. The ideas of the individuals must be allowed as long as it doesn't hurt the religious sentiments or linguistic sentiments or other these sovereignty and unity and integrity of India. But other things should be allowed by the government of India, and the courts should not intervene in the freedom of individuals in expressing their views or opinions in the larger interest of the society. This is the message of this video. Thank you so much.